Hi everyone, Christopher here, and welcome back to another episode of Fossil Forward Finds. We have another What's Sold video for you. This one is for September 7th through September 13th. And, another slow week. 28 orders total for $259.41 gross, so definitely below average. Just sort of seems to be how September has been going so far. This week was really more a week of wheeling and dealing, best offers, things like that. Let's take a quick look. And of course, got some first day covers, postcards, some POGs in there for you, swap cards, photos, a couple photos this week, trade card, yeah, greeting card as well. So run the gambit, my usual mix. Let's take a look. All right, as always, I am going to start with a few items that are non-postcards, and then we'll finish up with the postcards. We have a double feature here at the beginning. Sold two pogs rather to the same buyer for the Jacksonville Jaguars NFL football team. Um, See on the back here, Laserform 1994. This one sold for $5.49. The second one sold for $5.99. And this was part of the League Before Time series, which depicted the NFL teams as various prehistoric creatures. In this case, just a beefier jaguar, large cat. Hi, Garak. Yes, that's my beefy large cat. Um, if you're looking for more of these, if you're interested in these, I have more than myself, and this one as well as some of the other teams. But also check out Chris over at All Things Cool and Common. You probably saw my recent video, or his recent video, where we purchased 30,000 pogs and split it between the two of us. He got all of the football-related pogs, including some from these series. So the ones I had from previous purchases. So check those out. More pog videos to come down the pipe. Next up, we have a swap card. I got this from 342 over on Whatnot a while ago. Listed it in June of this year, though. 1979 Invitational for the ORCC. I probably looked it up at the time, maybe. I don't know. I don't have anything further written in the item specific, so maybe I couldn't figure it out. But in any case, the swap card sold for the full asking of $7.99. You know this is a proper swap card for the other Joker on the back there. So, you know what the ORCC is? Let me know. I don't think I figured it out. I got another trade card here. This is from a series of trade cards I got when I was living in Canada for a year. Had won a little sweepstakes for all things nerdy. So this was part of a series of cards that were Canadian comics. So this is for Johnny Canuck. Sold for the full asking of $12.99. I've done very well with cards from this series, so certainly keep an eye out for those. Once just fed Garak and Jadzia, but you wouldn't know it by the way he'd be infested. All right, moving on. Got a greeting card. You all again love the greeting card videos, so I'm going to keep showing you those as they come along. This was not from the Albany sale. This was from a different estate sale I went to last year. Uh, Listed this in October of 2024. And let's see, it's a Helen Keller quote, I believe. A nice little floral scene. This one did come with a matching envelope, which does add to the appeal. So it's just a thinking of you card. It sold for the full asking of $5.49, and this one did go eBay standard envelope. All right, next up we have a found photo. What was the dimensions on this one quickly? 6x8. All right, this was a neat one. It was part of a whole series of photos I got from Chris over at Cool and Common that were from the state police of Massachusetts. So I presume this is a Massachusetts scene, although it was not specified on the back. But what's cool here is, of course, we have a street flooding. We have all these different signs going on. Don't recognize all of them, but obviously Sinclair Gasoline, Hampton Ale, Schlitz, Coca-Cola, Paul's Cafe. So a lot going for you here. Got a person on a boat there. I thought this would have gone for more, but it did sell for $12. I've had it listed since September of last year, so it took about a year. Um, I obviously took a decent chunk off on this one on offer. In part, though, after going back and forth a little bit, I did notice that this buyer was in Romania, of all places. Um, what specifically drew them to this image, I don't know, but more power to them. So I knew their shipping was going to be um, extra high. So in the interest of moving things along and trying to trying to be nice to them, I took a lower offer instead of holding out longer. So yeah, not so bad there. I think that ends the non-postcard stuff. So let's move into some postcards. Uh, this was a purchase for my first trip to Dater Cottage. I don't know if this is coming out. This video is coming out before or after my second Dater College haul video. Um, well, it should be coming out afterwards, I think. In any case, this was from the first haul. It's a big old syringe playing the flute with some, I guess, teenagers, children. It says Satan's Waiting on the back. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like a anti-drug campaign or anti-vax campaign. In any case, it sold for $17. So happy with that. I paid $3 for this card specifically, but cost average down to $2.07. So not bad. Nice return. All right. This one, this one's just fun for me. So Niagara Falls is not typically a postcard I'm going to go out of my way for to pick up. There's lots of them. They don't sell particularly fast. Just ask Popeye's Postcards. He not a fan. This was one of my early purchases on Whatnot, and I knew at the time that Niagara Falls was not something to um, race towards. But the the seller had, I don't know, I guess he had 10 of them. Um, yeah, the seller had 10 of them, and I'm losing my train of thought. Anyways, the seller had 10 of them, so I made a joke in the show saying, I was going to corner the market, yada, yada, yada. And everyone laughed. But I thought it was an interesting view, greetings from Niagara Falls, and it did sell. Um, Finally, I still have 9 available. I, I don't usually show it in this view, but the reason why I did was because I thought the buyer had bought 2. But now I see they only bought 1. I hope I didn't send them 2. Oh well. In any case, sold for the full asking of $5.49, so I make $3.78 after shipping and fees. All right, this comes from one of the Albany albums, actually A1, so the first album. Sold for the full asking of $6.49, and it's an Australian first day of issue card. I kind of like a lot of the foreign first day issues better than ours in the US because they're all Continental size, so they actually still fit in the postcard box. Whereas a lot of the US first day covers, if they're on the envelopes, do not fit in the postcard box, which makes storing them more difficult. But in any case, this one's pretty cool. It is for achievements in technology, specifically ceramics. So you can pause it there if you want to see the back there. But it was part of a whole set. I got a whole bunch of these, so glad to see one of them moving along. Alrighty, we got some beefcakes and banana hammocks posing on the beach. Florida's real attractions. So this one I let go for $10, in which of course is 50% off. But part of the reason was the buyer did put in offers on a couple other cards. So in total, they bought 3, paid $30, which I was happy about. I got this one specifically on eBay. Cost me about $1.29 after cost averaging, which is not too bad for a return. I've had these for a bit. This one's been listed since February of this year. I think some of the other ones were listed a little bit longer. But again, happy to move them along. $30 for 3 cards is not bad by any means. Anytime I get cards like this, I always add gay interest somewhere, either in the title or in the item specifics. Yeah, I do fairly well with these cards. So there you have it. And then last but not least, this was one of my favorite cards I sold this week. I just think the colors, the illustration, everything is quite beautiful. But we got some Asian women in floral dress. I believe that was the artist's name. But I'm not positive on that. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it either. But anyways, this one sold on offer for $10. I got this on eBay as well. This was an oversized card, I think 5x7. Uh, four. Okay, so it's only slightly oversized, 4¼ by 6¼ So oversized enough that it doesn't fit in a postcard's the Continental sleeves. Anyways, those are my sales for this week. I am trying to catch up on these what solds. I think I have one more to do. Um, in any case, let me know what your favorite sale was. How are your sales doing? And we'll catch you on the next video.